Hi everyone, and welcome to the next lesson in this series on AWS fundamentals. So the main core of this lesson is to install and set up the AWS CLI. But before we can actually understand the whole AWS CLI part, I want us to go through the different ways in which we can access AWS first. So, as you all know, that the first way that we can access AWS is via the AWS Management Console. And for those of you that are probably wondering what this is, it is simply what we've been using in the last set of videos where we have been logging in, creating our IAM user, going ahead and enable multi-factor authentication, and so on. So we have been logging in through the AWS Management Console. Now the second way to access AWS is via the AWS CLI. Okay, so basically you can go into your command prompt and you can issue commands to AWS from your command line utilizing the AWS CLI. And the final way to sort of access AWS is via the AWS SDK. So the AWS SDK does support Python. So for those of you that have been watching my Django Fundamentals series, you'll be glad to know that. Now, for example, with the SDK, we would have all of our AWS services. So this could be Amazon S3, this could be our RDS Postgres database, and the lot. And then we would typically have our Django web application. So basically with the SDK, we would go ahead and connect our AWS services straight to our Django web application. And a common example is Amazon S3. When we went ahead and stored our access keys in our Django application, along with all the parameters such as bucket name, and also the rest of the parameters was file overwrite and setting static files and so on. Okay, so these are just some of the ways in which you can access AWS, these three ways. Okay, so I just wanted to quickly go over that. And for the rest of the lesson, we're going to go ahead and install and set up the AWS CLI. Okay, so this is a way in which we can go ahead and run commands to AWS, but we're going to keep it very simple. We just want to install it and set it up and make sure that it is running. So let's get straight to it. All right, guys, let's get straight to it and install the AWS CLI. So we can just say Google, type it in and say Google search. Okay, so it'll be the first link that you see. Okay, don't worry, I will attach this link here in the description below, so don't worry if you are worried about getting to this page. So we're going to, of course, update to the latest version of our AWS CLI. Okay, and as you scroll down here, you'll see that you can go ahead and install the AWS CLI on 3 operating systems. So either on Linux, Mac OS, or Windows. So just go ahead and click the section that is most applicable to you. And you'll scroll down and, for example, here you install Linux. Okay, here for Mac, you'll install the CLI via this link here, this .pkg file. And if you're using Windows like me, you can click on here and you can just click this link here. So we can do that, so just click that. Okay, so the MSI is just downloading. So what we can do is just wait for that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pause the video here, and then when it's downloaded, we can go through the installation and the steps. So let's just wait for that. All right, so it's been downloaded. So we can click here and go ahead and open it up. Okay, there we go. So let's install the AWS CLI. So we can say next. Okay, make sure that you accept the terms and conditions here. Say next, next, and go ahead and install it. Now, so you're now going to see a prompt that comes up, okay? Just be sure to click on yes here, okay? So it will be something with the extension .msi. Be sure to just say yes. Your screen, of course, will blur out. Okay, so let's just wait for this to install. So this might take some time. So what I'm going to do again is I don't want to make you guys wait here forever just watching me. So I'm just going to wait until this is done and then we will move on. Okay, so I'm going to pause the video again until we've got this done. All right, so it took a minute or two, but there we go. The AWS CLI has been installed and we can just say finish. And there we go. Now, to actually validate this and verify that we've actually installed the AWS CLI, we can go ahead to our command prompt and we can just type in AWS space -- version. So it should recognize it. So let's see what we have. Okay, this will just take, and there we go. So the AWS CLI has been installed. So if you see this message here, that's correct. Okay. Now, don't worry specifically about the Python version too much, okay? But as long as you have your AWS CLI that you see this first part here, then you're all set and you're good to go. So what I want to now go through with you is that this isn't the only way that you can issue commands to AWS. You can also go to the AWS Management Console and you can click on this icon here. Okay, this is AWS CloudShell. So of course, once you click on that there, it's going to go ahead and create an environment for you, okay, where you can actually go ahead and actually issue commands on AWS, okay? Instead of using this AWS CLI locally, you can go ahead and do it here. So it's going to be exactly the same, but it will now be in an environment here on AWS itself. Okay, so that's two ways in which you can actually go ahead and push commands to AWS in more of a programmatic sort of way. All right, so just bear that in mind. Okay, so that's it. So the main thing here was to teach you that there are three ways in which we can access AWS, and also to set up and install the AWS CLI. So this is one of the ways that we can push commands to AWS if we feel that like we do not want to go ahead and actually use AWS services. Okay, well, use AWS services in the AWS Management Console. All right, so that's it. And yeah, I hope you liked it.